Hi there, I'm Tanya.
And I'm Jason.
And we're from the
Board Game Nook.
Today we're going to talk about Carta Imperia, Rise of Rome by Mike EBG and Guntower Games.
It plays 1 to 6, takes about 3 hours, depending on your scheming. It's a delicious deal-making negotiation game, coming to crowdfunding June 2026. Are you ready to make a deal?
Because this game is going through crowdfunding, we were given a prototype of the game. And that means we were playing era 1 till 4, which is the first scenario. It is the shorter part of the game. And because it is going through crowdfunding, some of these components might change or some of the rules might change.
One of the things I hope doesn't change are these adorable little governor busts. They are so cute.
We will give you a close-up of them later.
Yes. The full version of the game is going to come with 3 scenarios. The Rise of the Republic, the Fall of the Republic, and the full game. So the first one's shorter, the second one's longer, and then the full game is obviously the longest.
Yeah, it took us like an hour to 90 minutes to play the shortened scenario, but I'm assuming with the full, all of the versions, all of the scenarios.
All 7 eras, it'll probably take quite a bit longer. Probably closer to the 2.5 hour mark.
Yeah. We are shaping an empire, and we're doing this mainly through negotiations, okay? And
We're talking. Making deals.
That's right. Shaky deals, handshake deals, backdoor deals, or sometimes just openly front face negotiating.
Sometimes we tell the truth.
Exactly. Sometimes I think I'm telling the truth, and then actually, in fact, I was lying, and I didn't even know it myself.
So the object of the game is to have the most prestige at the end. And to do this, you're going to go through several eras or action rounds. Mm-hmm. The start of an action round, the first thing that occurs, is a map tile will be flipped over, which expands the area that you can control. Mm-hmm. The next thing that happens is a historical event will be flipped over according to the era. Now, these are historical events, so they're going to be things like I believe it's the Samnites revolts, in which case, if you have a governor there, suddenly he's no longer governor. Mm-hmm. After you play out the historical events,
card, the Primus card, pretty much the person who has the most money.
The person that has the most prestige is given the Primus.
That's right, which means you're a first player. And also you can break ties, and this is essential in this game because there will be arguing, hostile negotiations.
You also decide which direction that the table play goes, which could be very important or utterly unimportant depending on where you are at the stage of the game.
And then the meat of this game is your action cards. Now, in the scenario we were given the prototype, we have 4 actions to choose from. Each of them is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, and we secretly pick down those cards.
2 of them.
2 of them.
Now, when you, like Tony said, you'll secretly pick 2 cards. Then the cards will be flipped over in numerical order. So everybody that played, let's say, the number 1 or exploit will flip over exploit, and then in turn order, we will each play the card.
Now, I liked Tips on Play card. I pretty much lived and breathed this while we were playing the game because it's not just what's on the card. Obviously, Jason's going to go into what all 4 of them do. But this one I found really, really helpful. It's like, okay, so I want to gain legions. How do I do that? Play the exploit card. If I want to gain dignitas by conquering territory and install a governor in conquered provinces, play the expand card. So it's, what do I do to play this? Because I want to do that.
It's very helpful for the start of the game anyways, for when you're first learning. Yeah. Once you know the game, you have a pretty good idea. And the action cards themselves have a great description on what it does.
And there's only 4 of them, so you'll pick it up pretty quick.
So, for instance, and every action that is played, generally, even if you're not the one that played the card, everyone's going to take part in it. For instance, the exploit action, everyone's going to tax the board. Now, if I'm the card player, I'll get a slightly better action. So it's sort of a I play and everyone follows concept. As Sonia was saying, exploit is taxing for legions and governor busts and dignitas or money.
Taxes.
Taxes.
Can't expand without taxes.
The second action is the executive action, which has to do with gaining governors, protecting your prestige, which is a very important part of this game.
Hmm.
So there's two main currency types. There's the Dignitas, and there's the Autocrat. Autocross?
I just called it influence.
Basically, if you want to protect your prestige, you're going to convert it from Dignitas into Autocratas. And then at the end of the game, Autocras, I'm going to call them A's from now on, score better.
Yeah.
They get like, for every 2, you get 3 points as opposed to just 1 point per.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then the third one, Extort, where you can prosecute. I didn't like that. I didn't like to prosecute. It's heavy hits. Heavy hits are taken when you prosecute.
Well, I mean, this game, yes, you can prosecute it. It's a way to like steal Dignitas from another player. But generally, if you can avoid it, you make a deal so you don't have to.
Just negotiate out of court, you know? Like that's the backdoor deals, guys.
If you're incredibly stubborn, it can go to a court case, in which case both players will secretly play down a rock, paper, scissors card. In this case, it's oratory, bribery, and evidence. And each one will beat the other. So oratory beats evidence, evidence beats bribery, etc. And in this rock, paper, scissors match, the player that wins, if you're the prosecutor, gets more money. So it behooves you as the defendant to make a deal before it goes to court.
Yes.
The final action is the expand action.
Correct.
Which is basically taking over the board.
Yeah.
Now, when you tax, you have to have a governor on a province. To get more governors on provinces, you have to expand. Yep. Or I guess you can, the executive phase, we gleaned over it fast, you must, it's the only rule in the game you must elect a new governor.
Yeah.
And again, so when you're expanding, it's basically you're going to recruit armies from Rome, recruit your private legions, as Tanya's holding.
That's right.
You're going to take your conquest marker, and you're going to say, boom, province. Now, you're going to flip over some cards. There's going to be a little bit of math, but basically, if you win, you get the province, and if you lose, there's a punishment. There's usually casualties, and as the winner or the conqueror, you also get to dictate who gets the governorship of that province. So another negotiation.
That's right. And then I also liked reform. I would like to reform.
The reform is it's like the tech tree of the game.
Yeah.
You have
military reforms, administrative reforms, and political reforms, and everyone can participate. You're kind of like putting your guys.
You take your governor bust and you say, oh, I'm making a reform, and you drop it down, and now you have kudos, which means you get to use that reform for free in the future. However, anyone who follows it or wants to use that same reform must pay.
That's right. Yeah. So there's lots of, dynamics going on in this game, but once you get used to it, that's not part of the game. I mean, honestly, yes, you're doing this, that, and the other thing.
Those are the bones of the game.
Exactly.
But that's not the meat of the game, which we will talk about.
I was going to say, we're going to get into it right now. We took extreme liberty when it came to negotiating and trading all the rules, every component in this game.
I traded Rome for a coffee, guys. Best deal ever. But in actuality, this game does give you, it says, there are only 2 things, that's 4, there are only 2 things that you cannot trade. One are your end game victory cards. Yeah. And the other is your autocracy, or this currency.
Other than that, anything.
Have at her.
Your cards, your reforms, money.
And because of this, so negotiation is the backbone of this game. The cards sort of give you direction of play, but the entire game is built around deal making.
Deal making. Like I said, open trades and backdoor trades and just blatant lies. Or at the time, it was the honest to is true at the time. But then things changed within seconds, and you're like, I was a different person.
I was a different person back then.
now we're gonna go in this direction.
I mean, okay, so a clever, and it also calm, Jason. The negotiation, because we were being clever about it, it led to some maybe unintended consequences or possibly loopholes, but it was fun nonetheless. An example, Tanya promised me. I paid her in good faith Digitas. Here you go.
Yes.
For her private legions to
in Pergamon. He was going to invade Pergamon. And my
invade. I was going to liberate Pergamon for the people.
And I had private legions. They were going to die anyway. So, like, what a great deal. I'll make some money, and I'll give you my private legions. I'll promise them to you.
So, no sooner did I start my campaign in Pergamon, I asked for her private legions, and she denied me.
Listen, or after taking money, did I sit back and watch as he got decimated? I did do that, but only because at the time, the other player that was at the table, we made a better deal. He gave me a better deal at the time.
So I went into Pergamon and was obliterated by the citizens there, unfortunately. I took massive casualties, lost all my private legions, lost a lot of Roman legions. It was...
And I came out A-okay. And that...
Well, tell them why. Tell them what you did at the end.
I mean, I
instead of discarding her private legions.
my private legions, I traded them to the other player at the table so that in the next scenario, he gave them all back to me. So
for half of the money that I paid. She used my money to keep her legions. Devious and also annoying.
Exactly. Listen, this is how empires are made. This is how empires are made.
That's just one example of the things that can occur. There are also like elections. Yeah. Okay, so the one rule that you must do is you have to do an election, like I said, and that's when you take an executive order. And so you'll nominate the location on the board, and you'll say, okay, this place I'm going to pick, or the table's going to pick a new governor. Let's all vote. And there.
And Jason was going on and on. He's like, I will reform this place. I'll bring education.
For the people.
We'll have lots of money. The borders will be secure. And he's going on. And then it was my turn because I'm also vying for this place. And I said, yeah, but look at me.
For the people. They will have bread, food, water. I will pay money for your votes.
But look at him. And then look at me. Who won the election?
Oh.
Who won that election? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's not all about logic and reason. Sometimes
it's about the table. And that is...
bargaining your way into power by any means necessary.
And again, the crux of the game, negotiation. Everything else is just
just keeps the game flowing. Exactly. It just gives you like the flow of the game and the general rules so that you can proceed. But really, that's where that negotiate. That's why it can take up to 3 hours with the full game. We wouldn't be surprised at all if we took 3 hours with it because we had to implement the rule timer. Okay.
Yes.
You have to have a timer. It's like,
there is a rule and it does come with the timer that says, boom. Okay. You guys have negotiated long enough. This is the contract or the agreement as it stands, and players must come to an agreement then and there. And we also did take liberties with that. I will pay you not to drop the sand timer, or I will pay you drop the sand timer on them. So there was a lot of greasing of palms and a lot of negotiating.
How do we feel about this game?
Well, let's negotiate and talk about it.
Where is that timer?
This game is, at its heart, about talking.
Correct.
So you're going to need a table or a group that is okay with that.
Which is why can you play this solo? Yes.
What's that? You don't want your governorship on Galespedia? All right. Boop. Yes, I think I will take that. I want some more money? Okay, yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. I'll go with you. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, here, you can have a private legion, and we're back.
And we're back.
But no, you can't play this solo.
No.
The game was okay with like a single computer controlled character or an AI driven character.
Yeah.
But even then, we had to pretend that they were like there are rules.
Yeah.
But we pretended to make the best decision.
Yes, and you can't, negotiate and openly trade with an invisible AI person. So, it worked. It worked with 2 people plus the PvE.
But definitely not solo.
It's definitely not solo.
And
3 people.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Good.
But again, it's all about people wanting to talk. And
Yeah.
you also, I think you have to be in the right frame of mind for
Yeah.
this game. Like you need to be having a good day.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, the backstabbing alone, right? The
Yeah.
promises made and then the betrayal that happens. You have to have the right, as with most things, you have to have the right people at the
I
table
mean,
to play
when
the
you're
game.
literally suing people or taking them to court to steal their money as opposed to other players, or in the later rounds you assassinate them. I mean, I could see some pretty built up, pent up anger, or so you have to.
It's all in good fun.
You have to approach it in good fun,
Yeah.
and you have to leave the hard feelings at the table. And I've been guilty of it. Like I harbor a little bit of resentment sometimes, but I try not to bring it into other games.
Which is why we like the 3 to 5 person mark, because you're not just 2 people ganging up on one person all the time. You have different personalities that you are bringing to the table, where you can have Jason, who's very upfront and like, this is, I've done the math. This is what we got to do. And then there's me being like, yeah, but I feel like,
yeah.
that
So
color.
there can be king making in this game. Like if you're playing 3 players, 2 players can definitely destroy the third player easily. So you have to be aware of that. And I think this game also is very easy to teach, like the general concept.
Yeah.
But I think you need almost a moderator or somebody who's more engaged at showing people the sneaky ways you can trade.
That's right.
Or, enticing people to talk and discuss things, especially with a newer group or a group that doesn't get together as
the reason
frequently.
as to like why you would want to manipulate a situation in the first place, you have to understand what you can get out of it and why you would be doing that. So yeah, it will take a little bit of practice, but once you understand why you're doing these things and how the general flow goes, the negotiations got a lot more meatier
and creative.
Yeah.
And again, like, so our second playthrough was definitely easier, and our third was probably the most fun.
That's right.
And yeah, so that being said, I think if you like to discuss, or you have a fun gamer group that doesn't harbor ill will, or you really like to negotiate, then this might be a good game for you.
For sure. Yeah, we're excited for it.
Yeah, we're excited to see where it goes, because again, we only got the first scenario, and the longer game is probably a lot more fun. I mean, I did get to see some of the extra actions, like you get to incite mobs on people's provinces. Probably another terrible thing.
Yeah.
You can assassinate them, and my favorite, you can declare yourself as emperor, which
Empress.
Yes. Well, the long and short of it is, though I lost, who's really in control?
Right?
The pauper that gave away all his money and is pulling the strings?
Exactly. Or the beautiful empress.
Yes.
That'll do anything for you for the right fee.
I know who
right
I'd vote for. Thank you for watching. Until next time.
Yes. Bye for now, everybody.
Bye for now. We were given a prototype of the game, which means that everything could change.
I will say that. I will say that. I'll
any point for any reason.
Okay, ready? 3.
You shush me with a
3.
copy.
I think you're heavily distracted by your toga. Is what I think.
It's so...
wardrobe issues. Okay.
And that's it.
This
is a terrible take.
And that's the end. This is the end.
This is the end, my friend.